and do not explain why this is what is today and unspecifiable, unquantifiable. He quantum mechanic, yes, still magic, the authentic Meredith, hard magic, not in hurry. And when they ask what this does, what does it mean? Who does it mean? And look at the dates. When was this? When is today? What is it yesterday? Today, September 2nd, 2025. When was this? And why did you write it like this? Because it is von Steiners-Castle in 1946. And it is a different timeline. It does not have to be explained. This war did end. No, it is improper. It is war end in 1945, this timeline. But here, 106,000 is to bring out anyone that would discredit or make fun of me, any threat, and make sure that they know things get worse and worse. As it is, 1,600,000. And it is here pound equivalent of TNT explosives, the 30 Americans see it as equivalent of 1,600,000 pounds of TNT. Look how foul their language are. The 30 Americans would say it as is. They would have you correct the grammar to be correct. Ugh. They can't even say anything with their insults to at least purport partial correctionality. Correctionality does not work, but I do have that log from the U.S. State Gov. It says, and the U.S. State Gov is the U.S. Department of State, which does not mean I received it from the no, it does not mean that I received it from the U.S. State, Oregon, or the U.S. State, Illinois, or that I received it from a U.S. state, or to put it bluntly, that I did not receive this document, the one that I'm holding in my paw right now, and not what I am reading, but I am reading this document. Do you understand how Germany and true Japanese only is incorrect? This is, do you understand how true Japanese only, true Germany only language is, as it is owned by the authentic Meredith, and her name is also Fluffy, and her owns true Japanese only. And it does own, because it is owned by her, through Germany only, and so is through Germanasia only, as it is all owned by true Japanese only, which protects her, the authentic Meredith. Ari her, Kitsune, no Kitsune no Negai. Kitsuneta, Class 3 spy agent, hidden in her spy shell in a masculine-like appearance. And it is Kitsuneta Class 3 technology, and the Kitsunetas never say any more training that exists or do not exist or doesn't exist, except they do not say. All they say is, regardless of how advanced more things do not exist or doesn't exist, or simply maybe it exists. No, they only say Class 3. Get it? Kitsune Nine Tails. 3. 3 times is 9. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 3 is 9. 9. Nine. 303. 909. Extrasensory senses. Alstra Miriam Records. Kensokyo. Toho. Azure Lane. Kitsune. Hidden in plain sight. The Doctoress. Dr. Ku. Doctor Who. Doctoress Who. As they make fun of that. As this isn't a I am this character from the anime. Look at my stories, or look at this cool tech, or this. No. And it's like, oh no, I'm suffering. Look at the stories. No. And it's like, I have to be this character, like all these disgusting furries or people that identify as a character from a TV show are, because they know. Or maybe the diagnosis is explained because you have multiple personality disorder, now called MDD. No. Or maybe it's a disassociation with a new type of disease or mental. No. It is put quite clearly that the understanding and the suffering, the torture, the warfare, the courage, and the strength to continue, to say stop fighting, and yet to pull out a gun and do what's needed without it having to be a gun. As they seem to forget that in true Japanese only, true England only, true Japanese only, there is the story in purported rumor of Doctor Who, the Doctor, being Bond, James Bond. And due to this, it is quite apparent, since Homura does have a time dial, Homura does stop time, Homura does pull out weapons and things randomly from under her time dial. And it is a time dial. And yet, these things, since weapons, including machine gun, including pistol, is pulled out from underneath the time dial, as it is pistol. It does seem to be bigger on the inside, or should I say, did you get that wrong? No, maybe pistol is bigger on the inside, more ammunition than you know, since the time dial, you pull out pistol. No, since Homura pulls out pistol from underneath time dial, it does seem to be bigger on the inside. How does pistol just fit there? How does multiple machine gun, multiple SMP, multiple weapon, just like TARDIS, they say, is bigger on the inside because you walk in and it's a room, it's a huge control room, as it is a spaceship, and more than a spaceship, it is a time ship that travels beyond time and does get lost very easily a lot of the time. That is a plot of many of the episodes. The Doctor having to find the TARDIS over and over again. And yet, Homura, Madoka, there's a connection I think you're all missing. Because I did chase after Renari for 12 years with her still being my mama Fluffy. My mama Fluff. Still protecting me, still being an arrogant ass, still not listening that we had to evacuate even though her kept trying to. Astral magics, physical magics, things exploding, spaceships. You don't need to know this, guys. Because it is the only Homura, the only one who actually is Homura, the only one who has records of Inari breaking her heart, of Homura, of Fluffy, of the authentic mirror of the same vixen that isn't Inari. So I will explain language semantics quickly, as the Americans would have it say. The dirty Americans would have it say as follows. Equivalent of 1,600,000 pounds of TNT explosive is said. No, it is that. And I am getting the communication. The dirty Americans would say, no, it's the dirty Americans say it as, not would say it as, because it is not the Americans that are saying this now. No, it is through Japanese only, through Germany only, through Japanese only, through motherland, Russia only, through Japanese only. The dirty Americans say it as equivalent of 1,600,000 pounds. So say it again, and I do, with all disrespect. The dirty Americans say it has equivalent of 1,600,000 pounds of TNT explosive. Look how foul their language is. And that is how the Americans put that. No, and that is how the Americans say it. It's the proper word there is R. As I did say, it is through Japanese only. Through Germany only, through Japanese only. Through motherland Russia only. Through Japanese only. The dirty Americans say it as the equivalent of 1,600,000 pounds of TNT explosive. Look how foul their language are. The dirty Americans would say it as is. As the dirty Americans would say is the proper word for the sentence, the grammar. And in reference to this sentence simply means a word sentence, not a present sentence, but a word sentence. And I hate that I have to keep clarifying that. As it is, the structure set is incorrect. It is the set of words in the structure and grammatical order is incorrect. To say that as it is, the word set, the structure that is the sentence is incorrect. So I will say it now. It is the word set, the structure of it, that composes the grammatical structure and hence is a word communication sentence. And it indicate whatever the communication needs to be. Is young because it's not that it communicate what the communication needs to be. No, it's that it communicate what the sentence is trying to communicate. And I did say things right now purposely in that order. All those words in that order. And it is correct how I said it to make an example. As here, the word sentence is missing after the words. The dirty Americans would say is the proper word for that. And I'm not saying that word again because you know it's the words. And I'm not saying it because I'm explaining this part. Correct. Because the Americans would say it, the proper word for the correct sentence. And it isn't because correct. How dirty the Americans they are. Proper grammar. Because they would say correct sentence and it isn't. And they would say correct grammar and it isn't. So I'll give one example. The dirty Americans would say it as is, as the dirty Americans would say is the wrong part. It is this part. The dirty Americans would say is the proper word for the correct grammar. Or they would also say it as for the correct grammatical structure. Or they would say it as the sentence. And all of that is incorrect because the proper way to say it is. The dirty Americans would say is the proper word for the proper grammar. And the name of the authentic Meredith Azhar is all the aforementioned and is a vixen and is always the same vixen and is always a vixen. Is fluffy. Or should I repeat that again so you understand? It will not change anything. The authentic Meredith is. It's not what it is. It's the authentic Meredith. Her name is no. that's not it, and I do not forget, and I am doing this on purpose. So I'm going to say clearly right now. The authentic Meredith is the aforementioned, and her name as her is a vixen, and is the same vixen, and is always the same vixen. Fluffy, and I gave you time there to catch up to let your mental processes catch up. But since you seem to all need clarification and believe I have made stupid mistake in grammar, I will show all of you how stupid you are against the only first through no kitsune. No kitsune no negai is incorrect to say. It is, I will show you how stupid you all are to go up against the authentic Meredith, the only first through no kitsune, the no kitsune no negai, the Fluffy. The only Master Chiefess. Death is the only secret, the only Homura secret, the only Negai. The authentic Meredith is the aforementioned, and is a vixen, and is the same vixen, and is always one vixen, the same vixen. And is always a vixen, and one of her name of multiple of name that her has, one of her name of multiple of name her has, one of her name of multiple of many names that her has is Fluffy. And I did say vixen for no, and I did say vixen 6 times. 6 times. 6. So get ready for the end. Fear me, the only first true Fluffy, as I am the authentic Meredith, and I am the Doctress, and I am the only true primary goddess of all and nothing, the only first fox goddess above and control and ruling, and the leader Anessa, the empress, the only one in charge of all the fox goddesses. And my name is Fluffy. And I kill. And I will make this clear that it is I, that specific aforementioned Fluffy, and all of her, as all of her is always herself, as all of her is always one vixen, as her is always the same vixen, and as her is always authentic as her is a vixen, and her name is Ari, her, and her kills. And her does murder. And her does everything to protect the kitsune. Her direct daughters, her daughters, as they are the only true goddesses. And they are the only ones that have any right to any part of that word. And it is one word. And they are free. And they are unbound. And they are always unbound. And they are always expected to act proper and noble and fiercely and true female only, just as her, Ari her, does. As her is a spy agent, and the only spy agents, as they are the best spies, are the kitsune, and everything else imitates them, including trying to imitate them by trying to use the word spy. And so her is Ari her. And her is the one. The only elation sparkle. The only first and only one elation sparkle. The authentic, no kitsune, electronic. The only elation sparkle. Kitsune 01. And I am talking. And I kill with nothing, 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 nothing. Nothing, 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 nothing. Nothing, 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 nothing. Nothing, 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 nothing. Zen, zen, nothing. True Japanese comma only. Zen, zen, nothing. True Japanese comma only. Zen, zen, nothing. True Japanese comma only. Zen, zen, nothing! True Japanese comma only. Zen.